MotoGP speed. Doing a wheelie at 140 mile an hour. That is so fast, isn't it?
Okay, we keep getting emails and other inquiries about the ZX14 progress. So here we are. Motor's out, been rebuilt, cylinder heads all been had the valves lapped in. So we're doing a complete build on the motor. There's forged rods, forged pistons going in, stronger clutch springs. So early part of next week, this will be going back together. As we've said to everybody, there is no room for an intercooler on this bike, so we're going to go water methanol injection or water injection, but we need to find room for a tank. So Dan's been flat out making room for a tank. So we're taking the air duct from this side, the internal air duct from inside here, and we've got the tank sat there with the filler for the tank just here. So if I take this filler cap off, I think, with a bit of luck, we can get it out. There we go. So we've got a capacity of about 2.5 litres, which should, as the water's only going to be injected under boost, it should last quite a while, and it's very easy to refill. So that's another job completed. We're very happy to get that far. As you can see, engine's out. Throttle body's there. So early part next week we'll get this back together. So this is the 3D printed alternator case, which is going to mount the bracket to put the supercharger on. Now we made some changes, hence we've ground off some mounts we put on here. We changed the idea. We've got the final one will be chamfered off to give a bit more ground clearance, and it'll be very, very similar to the Hayabusa kit. So getting closer and closer. So we'll soon be machining the real thing. Hayabusa bracket will fit, which is good. Hayabusa belt guard will fit, which is good. Different length spigot. You can see here the spigot. This is a Hayabusa one, but we've got a spacer inside there because we're at about another 20 millimeters over a Hayabusa kit. To get everything in, get the supercharger in the right place. But it's coming on really strong. It's probably time for guys who've got a serious interest to contact me, and we'll talk about a pre-order. If you want it, then give us a pre-order and we'll know how many people are serious, and we can manufacture the right number of parts accordingly. So if you want a supercharged ZX14, give us a call, give us an email, give us a text, and we'll put you on the list. MT09, we've had this bike for about 8 years, and it's just been under wraps. It's got forged rods, forged pistons. We've got a supercharger that fits just here. We're just doing a refit and a clean and set up, ready for sale. So anybody who wants 160 horsepower supercharged MT09, give us a call and we can talk turkey. Okay, so we've resurrected my Rocket 3. We just fitted a new clutch because I fried the clutch last time out. We'll be back up and running with it soon. So it'll be available for road tests. If somebody wants a supercharger kit for a Rocket 3 and they want to try mine out first, they're more than welcome to come along. And if they love what they feel when they're riding the bike and want to buy, then they can put their name down because we're making another batch of 10 kits over the next 3 months. And really look forward to getting them come through the door and make some more happy, smiley faces. New Triumph bobber in for a supercharger kit. We've got the supercharger in, came in with these lovely exhaust systems. Really nice, manufactured locally to us. So Hitchcock's made these exhausts, very nice. We've sorted out the supercharger system, and now she's just got to go on the dyno. With our new system, with the big pipe work, we're looking at 140, 150 horsepower, which should make a bobber pretty lively. If you want a bobber kit or a Thruxton R, Thruxton RS, we've got supercharger kits on the shelf for all those models. Everything 1200 bobber-ish. Like I say, Thruxton R, Thruxton RS. We've the Bonneville, the Speed Twin. We've got supercharger kits for all those models. And if you want to really spice up the bike, then this is the way to go, because they're all running 140 to 170 horsepower, 120 foot-pound of torque. 120 foot-pound of torque. Gixer thousands, 75, 80 foot-pound of torque. Bobber, 120 foot-pound of torque. Eat your heart out, you mad multi-people. Oh, the woes of Harley Davidson. We've got Billy's bike in bits yet again. We went 128 with the blower with 20 pound of boost. Thought we was going to go for some big figures. And we started off tuning and things going pretty well. Got up to 260 horsepower. But we was getting a lot of blow-by. There's a lot of crankcase pressure and we weren't sure what was going on. So we had to pull it down. And unfortunately, the S&S crankshaft, which has got their own rods, the rods are bushed and the bush has come adrift on this pot. So this piston has not got a lot of control on the end of the rod. It's rocking around like crazy and it's giving us lots of blow-by. So we've got to find some way of replacing the bush in this conrod. Any ideas on a postcard, please? Because I think we've got to pull it down and possibly replace the crank or send the crank away to get this rebushed. It's not a job that I want to undertake, to be honest, and I'm pretty disappointed in S&S's quality control for a bush coming loose inside a conrod. You know, we could have ended up with the conrod coming out the front of the engine. But we saved it because we thought something was wrong and we had the sense to pull it down to check it out. But, you know, it's just wobbling around. It's just not good at all. So we'll make some changes and hopefully one day we will give this back to Billy, giving it the 300 horsepower. It's one labour of love, that's for sure. Or it could just be the elephant in the room that's spoiling my everyday. So we've got another customer's bike back in. His battery's gone down. Our plenum chamber has to be removed to get the battery in because the battery's in a stupid place at the front of the bike, underneath the headstock. And where normally you just remove the airbox, now we've got to remove our plenum chamber underneath and fit his new battery and put it back together for him and give it him back hopefully next week. Okay, so got this bobber to remap. Customer brought it in with the supercharger fitted. He fitted it himself. And one of the things we have to do with supercharging this bike is stop the map sensor reading too high a value because it puts the engine management light on. Now, we've got a nice little device here, split-second voltage clamp. So we connect this to the map sensor and it stops the ECU seeing too high a voltage and therefore putting the engine management light on and also switching maps to make it run like a pile of shit. So he's fitted all that, brought it to us for remapping. Unfortunately, the engine management light was still on, and with our diagnostics, we see that it's a map sensor issue. Well, straight away it points to the fact that we've got this little device here, and has it been connected properly? Has the guy fitted the wires in the right order, etc., etc. So we've just had the tank off, had a look at the connections. He's made a pretty fair job of it, but it seems like when he was taping it up with his electrical tape, he pushed one of the connections apart. So it was a simple fix, just push the connections back together. Engine management light is now out, and the bike is running a lot leaner than what it was when it first started. But she's still rich. It's got our base map in. So now I've got the joys of remapping it to suit the supercharger. It's a 270-degree crank vertical twin. This has the effect of, when we're supercharging, that one cylinder gets slightly more boost than the other cylinder because of the amount of time the plenum chamber has to fill between inlet valves opening. So if it's 360 twin, both pistons come up together, that inlet valve opens, that one's pushing the exhaust gases out. Piston comes down again, piston comes up, this one inlet's open. So every 360 degrees, one cylinder is taking boost. With a 270-degree crank, you've got one piston up, the other one following it, only 90 degrees behind. So this one takes a big gulp of air. 90 degrees later, this one's got the inlet valve open, and it hasn't had so much time, the inlet manifold hasn't had as much time to build boost up for when that opens. So this cylinder gets slightly less air than that cylinder. So we've got a lambda sensor in each exhaust, so we can fine tune each side of the engine to get the most horsepower and make it run correct for the amount of boost it's getting. So now I've got the joys of using Tune ECU to sort this out. Unfortunately, every reflash is 23 minutes. So I've got to be smart and not just do a full throttle run, but do some part throttle runs at the same time and get a feel for where it is in different parts of the map, and make some blanket changes initially to get it in the ballpark and then fine tune later in the day. So we're now getting on towards the end of the day today. I'll probably get just one flash in before I've got to call time, because we can't run the dyno after 6 o'clock because of the noise, and keeping our our neighbours happy down in Silverstone Village. As much as they have to put up with the Silverstone circuit, they don't like putting up with me as well. So I don't run after 6 o'clock as a rule, because I like to keep friendly with my neighbours. So like I say, we'll probably get one reflash today. Davey might get the run tonight, and then we'll do another one once we've got the baby fully sorted. Okay, so when we do a reflash, Tune ECU software, pretty well the only software around, it's not particularly quick. So we have to make sure the battery stays charged, so we put a boost pack on. So we've done a first base run, and what have we found? The clutch is slipping. Ta-da! So the next thing to do is get the clutch cover off, put stronger clutch springs in, and then maybe we can get some runs out of it. We did a full pass. It made 130 horsepower at 5.2, and the torque was 132 foot-pound of torque. That's why the clutch is slipping, because we're making some serious torque. We're running too lean, so she's obviously going to be a bit of a monster, and I'm looking forward to finally sorting it out. So, like I say, next stop, new clutch springs, stronger clutch springs, and then we can do a bit more mapping. Oh boy, it's all go here, you know. Okay, so when we do a reflash, Tune ECU software, pretty well the only software around, it's not particularly quick. So we have to make sure the battery stays charged, so we put a boost pack on, keep that going, so we've got plenty of voltage to the battery. And then, as you can see on here, when I drag it across, right, so L1 and L2, L1 and L2 are low fuel amounts. That's not too far away, a little bit rich. I'm going to leave it where it is for now. And then we've got the main fuel maps, F1 for the right part, F2 for the left. Both of them running too lean, so I have to disconnect from the ECU. I have to go to table, I have to go to modify, and then I just go on here and I shall, from about there, whoops, start again. Right, got to get all the way up to 7,000 revs. This is it's sort of taken care of between the L maps and the F maps between 0 and 10%. So I'm going to leave that where it is for now and just increase the fuel on full throttle and all the way down, because this was running pretty well on the previous bike. So I get a feeling that overall, because of this different exhaust system, different setup, we're going to be running a bit lean everywhere. So I'm going to go up about 10% if I can. Whee. Doesn't like going up too far, probably because I'm exceeding the duty cycle at the top. So anyway, that's as far as I can get on there. Let's have a look. And go for F1. Come on. Come on, baby. Okay. Come down. It's giving me trouble. It's giving me trouble. We're going to have to, smart Alec's going to come on and say, oh, you should do this, do that. You're probably right, I should, but this is what I'm doing. So, let's take it a little bit steadier. He doesn't want to go anymore.
Your magic fingers aren't working.
Somebody says to me, oh, if you click this button and say times 10, it'll do it. Please let me know, because I know I can go on here and copy and paste, but normally swiping up gives us all what we need. So it ain't going to give me all what I need. Like I say, it's probably because 1760 is maximum duty cycle. I don't know. I'll have to have a word with Alan about this. Let's go. Let's try from there. See if that will go up. Yeah, there you go. See, I knew what I was doing, really. So we'll crank that up somewhere about there. I think I want to crank it up a bit more down here as well. Bring that up a bit, because she's well lean at the moment. Okay. And then table, copy, go under F2, table, paste. And now connect back to the ECU, turn the ECU on, connect. Right, so now we're connected and reprogramming. Come on, reprogram. Do we want to? Yeah, okay. So now you will see the joys of using Tune ECU and why it takes you all day to make a decent program. 20 minutes.